Here we go. What is going on, Cover Room crew? Welcome back to the show. Continuing down this path in the lab, talking scouting reports. We're talking Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona Wildcats. This guy is a good one and should be extreme quality as well. Definitely fighting for top wide receiver out of this draft class, even though we could talk about somebody like a Travis Hunter being the top guy, and it's absolutely warranted, but Tet definitely has all the abilities we're looking for. So we got to follow me, and we got a pros, cons, and a grade score talking about Tetairoa McMillan, Arizona wide receiver. So over the last several years, we've been extremely spoiled with great wide receiver classes that have provided us with unbelievable pass-catching talent. This class is a little bit different. While we still have many very good quality wide receivers, they're more on that secondary set where they're going to be unbelievably great complementary wide receivers in the league, where the top end, alpha wide receiver ones coming out of this draft should be a lot less, but still very, very good quality. Tet is definitely one of these dudes hanging with a Travis Hunter as the 1A in this draft class at wide receiver. I do like me some Tetairoa McMillan as well, but for those measurables, like always, 6'4", 220, he is 21 years of age, 37 contests, 213 in receptions, 34, 23 in yards, a nice 16.1 on the average, and 26 receiving touchdowns for this potential NFL freak specimen based on his measurables, based on what he can do just in his stature alone. It's what you're looking for. Prototypical type size, 6'4", 220, absolutely stellar, but he's got a heaping of pros that we got to discuss. Like I'm saying, great size and frame. When you're looking for dudes, and that can play wide receiver, can they run fluid? Are they fast? And do they have the size and frame? Check, 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 check for all. For a Tetairoa McMillan, 6'4", 219, great size and frame, like I'm saying. Unbelievably sound. You can't teach that. It's God-given, and the frame is definitely going to carry him throughout his NFL career. Tape speed is very good. I couldn't find the recorded 40 speed. I don't know if he's at his pro day yet. I definitely was looking around, but I mean, very good tape speed overall. We're looking for just a confirmation from the combine, from the pro days, excuse me. And if you don't have it on film, like guys like Genty, they didn't run their 40s as well. I understand why, injury risk, etc. But the tape speed is where you got to go. Tape always trumps everything, test-wise for me. But the tape speed, you see it more often than not. He's pulling away from defensive backs. He's pulling away from would-be tacklers. Tape speed is very, very good. He's got his second gear, and the stop-start wheels are very impressive, man. When you're talking the second gear, ball in his hand, whether it's the crossers, whether he's going down the field, he definitely can pull away from these defensive backs on a regular over-the-middle plays. You see that second gear pull up where he's doing the crosser over the middle, about 12, 15 yards over the middle of the field, and then he just takes off and makes it a house call. This is what you get excited about when you talk about a Tetairoa McMillan, because he can do that. When he is doing the button hooks, coming back to the quarterback, the stop-start wheels and the burst that he does possess is definitely there. Stop-start burst to me is great. If he can get, some openings around the defensive back safeties, you will see it on display, and then the home run wheels do kick into play. So at 6'4", it's a very good, gazelle running out there, very fluid in his running ability. Smooth runner, no question about that. Playmaker, and he's just extremely, supremely athletic. You see some of his highlight reels. You see some of his, tape in training where he's making the catch through his legs and stuff. You don't do this without supreme athletic ability. You see in-game action, the toe drag swag, the ability to out-jump his defensive backs, come down with the football. You see it, one-handed grabs over the middle to the sidelines. It's littered all over his tape. What can't this man do? Especially when he's catching the football. He is definitely a playmaker and will make an offense with a good quarterback that much more sound. Hands are fantastic. Corralling hands, there is an issue I will touch in the cons, but I mean the hands overall, you can say they are fantastic. He can outpoint, high point, out jump everybody, come down with the football. One-handed grabs, hands, his mitts just look big, man. Just snagging the ball out of the air when it's coming to his direction, whether, like I said, over the middle, back shoulder fades, high pointing, or on the sideline. This man comes down with the ball and it just snags like Velcro out of the air to his hands. Catch concentration is very strong, much like his catch radius. His arms are exceptionally long with the size at 6'4", and he's going to be in double coverage coming down with footballs. He's just out leaping everybody, and he's able to do this. Whether it's sticky coverage, a good defensive back on him, he's still able to challenge for these footballs. Catch concentration overall is very sound. along with a large catch radius, even when he's running down the field with the ball coming over the shoulder. Arm extension is definitely there. Very, very good catch radius in this man. So if you're a quarterback that does struggle with some levels of accuracy, like we saw at Arizona, I mean, he's not the fleetest of foot when it comes to quarterbacks. He's able to get him the football, and plays are made because Tetairoa McMillan can do this very well. Release footwork, quickness is efficient and very good. I think that, there is improvements that can be made. You want the quick stutter steps, shuffle steps, and the ability to fake in, fake out to get your defensive back off his press game. And this is what he does very well. It's not, exceptional just yet, but again, more tutelage will increase this quite a bit. And I think, there is a knock on him when it comes to separation. We'll touch that in the cons as well. But when you see the release footwork, it definitely is there. Can be improved, but I think it's very good with how quick his feet are. It is efficient. I don't want to say it's elite. It's efficient at this point. Route tree, average to above average at this point. We see a lot of similar routes in the man, going deep, going on the sevens, going the crossers, drags. He does this very well. Very much a slot mismatch to the outside. We will see if he's ever going to be that true alpha dynamo, and I do believe he is going to be that as well because of all the plays that he does make. Being that playmaker, he's obviously going to be on the outside, but he can be a massive mismatch because he can run in the slot. I do like that ability as well, but overall the route tree, I'm going to mark it today as an average to above average. Definitely can see some improvements. Box out, high points, like I'm saying, absolutely stellar in a Tetairoa McMillan, and the sharp cuts in and out of his breaks, I do like it. We even see on the in-out, on the goal line in the red zone, you do see this quite a bit. It isn't polished, but he definitely does have the ability to have those sharp cuts and sink in his hips down to get his defensive back put on skates. But for some cons, usually for a guy who's 6'4", 220, it's tough to find a lot of cons, especially when he is this good. But the frame, while it is still at 220, it views as lean. It's just subjective to how you view the wide receivers, like fluid motion, like heavy feet. It views as lean. Is it a problem? No. It's just a comment more than a con. I got to put these things somewhere, man, but it does view as lean. Could definitely add a little bit more muscle mass and shouldn't lose much strength to that as well. Added strength to dominate the defensive backs, in the hand fighting. I think this is going to be nothing but better for his game. Something like you see George Pickens extremely good at. DK Metcalf very good at. You see the hand fighting with these defensive backs. You want him to be this guy where he's the dominator rather than being dominated or being a 50-50 split with these stronger defensive backs. Definitely added strength in the arm push-offs, in the ability to slap the hands down and force his way to create those boxes. We've seen it. He does it a lot. Just add more to it so that you are that true alpha wide receiver that can dominate whenever the ball is presented in your direction. Some concentration drops do present themselves. And like I'm saying, while I do like his catch concentration overall, I'm going to rank that probably in like the 90th percentile. There are some concentration drops, but it's nothing to get, worried about. I think he's very good in his craft and will only continue to get better, but we have to highlight where it is. There were some concentration drops in his game. Full route tree manipulation, I'm going to say it needs improvement. Plant steps, head fakes, the way that he shakes his defensive back definitely needs a little bit of improvement. But it's just, refining your craft. How much do you want this? How much do you want to run your routes and be a technician at it? That's kind of where you're going. Tetairoa McMillan definitely is not a route technician, but it is definitely there where he can make plays. So to some degree, a player like this is utilizing and relying simply on his God-given talents rather than the technical aspects of the game. And okay, that can carry you when you are young, but as you get older, you're going to have to refine your game. And then when you go against, in the pros versus greater competition, you're going to have to find ways that your ability, everybody in the NFL is good. So you're going to have to find ways to at least, improve your route tree. That way you can be that much more dominant on the field. Separation consistency. This is a big one for a lot of people, including myself. There's many times you do see the defensive backs just hugged up on his hip and he's unable to separate. The jam does have a problem. There's another issue as well. If he is jammed up, he's a big guy and he does, run block very well, which is, kind of the mystery to it all, the enigma to it all is the fact that, he can run block extremely well, be a big-time presence in the run game, but then against the press, you see it from time to time, he's kind of like pushed back off his route a little bit. You want to see a lot more consistency in that separation, definitely off the line. Speed factors, route tree factors will gain more separation, but because he's so good in catching passes, This is kind of what masks the separation aspect to being top-end quality. He can still separate, he can still get open, but you just want to see the consistency in it be 100%, even though nobody's 100%. You want to see it as close to 100% as possible, and this will be that much more. It would be a welcomed sight to see him be that much more dominant in separation ability, and I mean, this guy could be absolutely unstoppable in the NFL. One concern, I don't know how to, even think about it at this point. A video recently dropped that he doesn't watch film. Don't know if it, or watch even football, even like football. I mean, I don't know how much of it is true. You see it on socials all the time, and you're trying to filter through everything possible to get a good grade on these rookies. Is it true? I mean, he's an absolute unbelievable prospect. He can do so many good things on the field. Does he put the work in the film room? That's one of those situations. Like I bring up a guy like George Pickens. He's an on-field issue with, having a hot head type of thing. There's guys that just don't watch film, don't watch tape, and can still perform on the field. But will you ever be the truest of elite wide receivers or quarterbacks or running backs in the league if you don't watch that film? That's kind of important here. So I don't know what to take from it. Saw it before I dropped this video. Thought it was definitely warranted to at least be discussed here at this point. Does he watch film? Was he joking around? Does he care about football? It's one of those situations none of us will know until we see him in the NFL. So we'll see how it does go. But for grading purposes, based on everything this man does, and he does it well, he graded exceptionally strong for me. 80% on the even for a Tet McMillan. He's going to be one of these dudes, man. If he is, if he is dedicated to his craft, I guess is the best way I could put it, we could be talking about a Tet McMillan for many years to come because he's got all the intangibles you're looking for. He's got all the skills you're looking for. He can change the game on a heartbeat because of what he does well. But it's all those off-field things. Do you love the game? Are you an off-field problem? I haven't seen anything to suggest he's an off-field problem, but we'll see how it does shake down. Tet is definitely one of these dudes that I'm a huge fan of and think he should be very much quality in the NFL. So there you have it. That is Tet McMillan, big-time wide receiver prospect coming out of this draft. Should be the 1A to him and Travis Hunter because they are that talented. They are that good, and they should translate exceptionally well into the NFL. If I have my choice, you got to wait till I talk about Travis Hunter before you know who I'm choosing. But Tet is definitely on tap to being one of these superstar potential prospects coming out of the draft, and we should be delighted with his play on the field for many years to come. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What are y'all thinking about Tet? You in, you out? Are you concerned about anything? That video that popped in, throw it in the comments. We could definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.